G'day there. Normally when we talk, it's about a car that's just arrived on the market. You're probably looking saying, hang on, this is the Velar, isn't it? The Range Rover Velar. That's been around for a few months. Yes and no. This is a new version, the P250, but more on that in a moment. What is the Velar? A lot of people have asked that. Where does it fit in? And I tried to think of a whole lot of analogies. I even thought of some Three Bears thing, but that would make this Goldilocks. But instead I'm going to go to rugby. And if you like the Barrett family, if you think Smiley, the dad, is the Vogue, the smallest of the national Remps, Bowden, would be the Evoque, and Scott Barrett, the big Ford, would be the Range Rover Sport, which means this is Geordie Barrett, just slightly shorter than Scott Barrett, but a fleet-footed winger. And the other thing about the Velar, it's all about style. Look at this thing. And I know I'm not one to know much about style, but I know that this copper is very in right now, on trend, they say. And I'm not the only one that thinks this is a style king of cars. In the 2018 World Car of the Year Awards, the Velar won the award for Best Design. So everywhere you'll look, you'll see the design cues that confirm this is part of the Range Rover family, but everything's done with that little bit more panache. And I love this feature here, the door handles. Look at that, surprise and delight. They feel really solid too, and they should. They took 4 years to design and get working absolutely perfectly. And to put that in comparison, the original Land Rover back in the 40s took less than a year to go from a sketch on the beach to in full production. So that really says something about the effort that's gone into the Velar. But come round the back, because I talked about the size differences, and the Velar, when he opens the boot, is 5 centimetres shorter than the Sport, but what you don't lose is actual usable space, especially in the boot here, and that really says something about this car and really sums up Land Rover, Range Rover, that yes, there is plenty of form, but also lots of function. Let's rock around the front, because I'm tempted to go on about style again. I'll talk about the ride height too. Slightly lower than you'll see in other Range Rovers. They call that Sport command position, but you can get air suspension, jack it up. Look at these. Very narrow, angry lights. In fact, while you're looking at them, Jordan, I'm going to jump around here, push those door handles again, and pop the bonnet, because you want to know about the engine. So all the P250s have a 2-litre engine with 186 kilowatts, which is 250 horsepower, and 365 newton meters of torque. So plenty of grunt there, and that goes right across the range. Well, that's enough about the Ingenium engine. Let's talk about the ingenious prices. You like that? Dad joke? I'll be here all week. Right, $114,900 are where prices start, plus on-road costs for the P250S. This model is the dynamic version. That'll cost $119,900. This one in particular, I know this because I checked the price sheet, $121,663. Exactly. Why? Bunch of extras: Meridian audio, privacy glass, and I love this. I'll grab one for you. The rubber mats, which brings me to that other Land Rover, Range Rover thing, the ability to go anywhere. It's always been what these cars are about, the ability to do it in the high country and on the high street. And that is something that every Range Rover has to be able to do. Talk about high street fashion and whatnot, you've got to look at the interior, don't you? Because when we're not just shallowing about the outside looks, look inside here. This thing is absolutely beautiful. And if you turn on the ignition, watch how the top screen tilts out to you. Then there's this whole other TFT screen here, which has your controls for climate, the vehicle. And that brings me to the other thing. It is a Range Rover. So you've got the terrain response style here. And it's just beautiful the way they've advanced this from the old traditional dial. It's just beautiful. And of course, if I start it up here, it wouldn't be one of the cars from this family without the rotary gear selector, but just fantastic. And just look, a lovely, lovely design. You can see that everywhere you look. It's fantastic, and that is what this car is all about. And look at this thing. This could honestly be one of those concept cars you see at a motor show that never gets made, but they've made it. And now this most desirable car is not just real, it's also more attainable than ever before, thanks to this P250 model lineup.